Happy Mother's Day to every single last mother. Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. My apologies on the intro. My apologies on the hoodie or this sweater. What happened is it's been hanging up right behind because I've been using it as a sound barrier, right? Or to absorb sound waves, right? But the problem is it's been hanging up so long by the corners that now it doesn't fit right. So I'm trying to give a little bit better of an angle. But check it out. We got a bombshell of a show today. I want to thank you for joining us on the True Seekers Live podcast. I'm not clickbaiting you. There's just going to be a lot of bombshells. And I know you've been waiting a while for this. We're going to give as much information as we can about the Kevin Samuels situation. We're going to give as much information that we can about everything regarding everything going on in the manosphere, the woman's sphere, and everything like that, because this is a fascinating study, and I can't wait to get into it with you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our first part of the podcast, which for the veterans, you know what time it is. It is the, drum roll please, shots fired, National Day of the Day. Today is National Hospital Week. We want to give a huge special shout out to all of the people who are working in the hospitals right now, the nurses, the doctors. It's also National Women's Health Week. We speak a lot to the women and about the women on this channel, so it's good that we speak about National Women's Health Week. We can exit out of this. It's also Mother's Day. We already know that. It's National Coconut Cream Pie Day. I probably shouldn't have said that on air like that. National Have a Coke Day. I've done that a lot, or I've had a lot of Coke. Forgive me. Jesus, that sounds bad. Let's go ahead and end the holidays today, shall we? Let's go ahead and get on to our discussion here. What are the bombshells? Well, there's many bombshells, but I want to start off by saying this, ladies and gentlemen. Where is Jessica X going to be on Kevin Samuels' funeral day? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself where Jessica X will be. For everybody that's trying to find Jessica X, today is the day, or that day will be the day that you'll be able to find her. Jessica X had plans, apparently, to meet with Kevin Samuels. Jessica X had plans. If you don't know what I'm talking about right now, Jessica X is a YouTuber who the X is inferring an anonymous type of title, right? The X means that she's anonymous, and that's how she decides to make her content. She uses these pictures online of a profile of some sort of person. I'm not sure who it is, but everybody's trying to find and track down this lady. Well, she was supposed to collaborate with Kevin Samuels. Yes, that's right, Kevin Samuels. Jessica X was supposed to collaborate in the United Kingdom with Kevin Samuels next month. Jessica X went on her YouTube page and literally said that verbatim, or if she wasn't on her YouTube page, then she went to Grandmaster Troll's YouTube page or something along that line, something along that nature. So that's the first, ladies and gentlemen, that's the first official bomb. If you don't know, once again, who Jessica X is, you can find her here on YouTube. That is her name, and the avatar is simply Jessica X. All right. She has the latest video, Kevin Samuels' Death and Conspiracies, but you're still average at best, Big Shirley. So she makes no mysteries as to what side she vehemently supports, and that is the side of Kevin Samuels. Now let's get back to Kevin Samuels for a second, because there's so much more to talk about with this. Conspiracies, you'll notice that she put that in her title right there as to allude to some sort of, we're not sure exactly, right? But we do know that from the news we've seen that it's been a a heart type of issue, right? It was a heart attack. It was some sort of big cardiac, that's what I was trying to say beforehand, type of issue, right? And so we don't know if there's foul play involved. There's a lot of things going on. Allegedly, people are saying foul play involved. She was a nurse, and so she should have known. This thing's going to really bother me. This shirt's going to really bother me. It looks crazy, yo. You know what? I might just start a trend. We're going to be starting a trend for people with freaking pointy ass sweaters. So a lot of people are saying, yeah, she's a nurse, she's this, she could have done this, she could have done that. Well, listen, I'm not saying any of that, but there's so many conspiracies flying around that is crazy right now. But let's get into more bombshells, because this is, this entire thing is just absolutely wild. I know y'all are probably like, why are we looking at this video again? I'll just fast forward to more interesting parts. All right, let's get to some stuff. All right, what are these bombshells? What are these bombshells? Miss Elite is a YouTuber on YouTube. Go figure. Miss Elite is a YouTuber. We're going to go to her channel really quickly. And she had a video that she dropped in her community tab. And I thought it was so interesting. This is her channel right here. Miss Elite on YouTube. MS.ELITE for our audio listeners. Let's take a listen to this video here. The video title is Black Men Only Started to Support Kevin Samuels After...
All I wanna say is dress size. See, I don't wanna play. Dress size, you be all up in the way. Dress size, she has 6 in the face. Name in your dress size. Baby girl, this in the game with your dress size. See, all I wanna say is dress size. See, I don't wanna play. Dress size, you be all up in the way. Dress size, she has 6 in the face. Name in your dress size. Baby girl, this in the game with your
Bro, how many songs? How many times is the song gonna play? Jesus.
I don't wanna play. Dress size. You be all up in the.
And a lot of times, guys don't want to hear that truth. We just don't.
All right, I gotta rewind it. I mean, I don't know. I guess the person, I don't know. Shout out to Miss Elite. I'm not getting that Miss Elite. I'm not getting that Miss Elite at all. So don't get that twisted. Because I don't think she even, edited.
And a lot of times, guys don't want to hear that truth. We just don't. If I come on here talking about, female nature, such and so forth, and if I would start bashing women or talking noise, oh man, the likes and everything will go through the roof. But when you start talking to men saying, guys, cheap is some of the most expensive stuff out there. You gotta do better with.
All right. Let's play this again. Let's go back, okay? So let's go back to this. Kevin said what we've been saying on this channel for a long, long time, and that is essentially that winners win, right? So Kevin's entire message was predicated on the high-value man. Become a high-value man. Once you become a high-value man, that's what people say his message was based on. Now, we're getting ready to watch what Kevin's message was actually based on in a couple of seconds. But Kevin, all the guys that are defending him right now, and a lot of people are in severe disdain and severe anger because there's so much retribution going against Kevin Samuels. And for a lot of people, a lot of women specifically, but a lot of people, period, of all races speaking out against it. Now, check it out. This thing didn't make mainstream news until today or yesterday, really. So right now, all the articles, I believe, are covering it. If I just do a quick Google search of Kevin Samuels' name, this is what we pull up right now. And so this took a long time for this to happen, 2 days, a day. Listen, this has already been, is this day 4, I believe, or maybe it's day 3, I'm not sure. But New York Times just reported this a day ago. We saw this on Revolt 3 days ago, right? So this is a major figure here, but still, I guess, whatever, I guess it just took so much time. Guys, we still don't even know how old Kevin Samuels is. In all honesty, we don't know how old Kevin Samuels is. People are saying he died at 57. Some people are saying he died at 56. I mean, look at the actual news page. And I have to give a huge shout out. Thanks to everybody that's been contributing and donating to the channel and making sure that these videos can keep happening. If you have a second, if you have a few extra dollars, donate to the PayPal, donate to the Cash App. If you like these live streams and you want more celebrity type news and popular news coming up in the future or political type of news, donate to the channel. But Insider at the very top has controversial dating YouTuber Kevin Samuels dead at 56 report. New York Times has it dies at 57. So this is a really mysterious situation, and it's playing out very slowly, a lot more slowly than a lot of the situations. But let's go ahead and get out of our conspiracy tinfoil hat modes, and we need to go back onto the bombshells because there's a lot that we need to say about this. Going back to Kevin's original message, a lot of guys feel like Kevin's message was that they need to be better men, that this, and that. This is what Kevin's actual message really was, ladies and gentlemen, okay? We all know this. But we have to keep in mind that, yes, Kevin isn't here, and so we're not here to bash anybody, but we need to be completely honest about some of the rhetoric and some of the energy that Kevin Samuels did put out into the world.
How much do you weigh?
That's none of your business. I told you I was fat.
Oh, okay. We don't play that shit on my channel. You get your big fat ass on somewhere then. I don't deal with you big sassy ass broads.
All right. So pretty much just kind of, let her have it, right? Now I need you to understand, that's the activity that a lot of the times we're talking about on this side when we do mention Kevin Samuels. Now, yes, in passing and death, we want to make sure that we pay the family especially respect. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I heard that his mom found out about the passing through social media. Whew. How bad does that have to feel? I mean, that's horrible. His mom found out about the passing through social media, right? But that gives you an idea of just how powerful social media is. Not even major media outlets were able to spread something as efficiently as social media did. So keep in mind for the future, when people start talking about censorship, when we start talking about censorship and freedom of speech, and these types of conversations start to be brought up in the future, these conversations will be had because of these types of conversations that are going on right now and these types of happenings that are happening right now as well. A very interesting time. So let's go back to some more of the bombshells, right? Let's go back to some more of the bombshells. And I want to actually play this message one more time. We have more things. We have a lot more to listen to. Well, not really a lot more to listen to, but I want to play a few more things. And then we'll open up, not the panel because we're not on StreamYards. If you want to hop or start a conversation with me, then download Zoom because we're going to be doing it on Zoom this time. Download Zoom and you can hop on the Zoom panel. If you have any questions, maybe I'm messing up, you want to hop on, I don't know. Whatever.
I want to hear that truth. We just don't. If I come on here talking about, female nature, such and so forth, and if I would start bashing women or talking noise, oh man, the likes and everything will go through through the roof.
So Kevin already knew the game plan from the very beginning, y'all. All right, Kevin already knows that if you come online talking badly, or if he knew he had an inkling, he could see, because keep in mind, Kevin Samuels was affiliating with the manosphere. He was affiliating with men like O'Shea Duke Jackson. He was affiliating with men like Angry Man and things like that. We're talking 5, 6, 7 years ago right now, right? So when this red pill ideology, the entire men going their own way, anti-feministic type of, we need to get rid of this totalitarian type of feminist government that's trying to overtake the entire continental United States and Western civilization mindset, Kevin Samuels came up in that. And so he knew, and he knows about the virality, or he knew about the popularity that these types of messages had. But Kevin Samuels was also a businessman, and he was a relatively, smart businessman in some aspects, right? I know he did a lot of things on the side, yada yada yada, but he pretty much says right here out of his own mouth that what I've been doing for the past few years is pretty much folly, because I know I'm not going to be able to garner the attention from men in that way. And in what way are we talking about ultimately? I'm not trying to get on to Kevin or anybody here, but Kevin was ultimately saying that guys are not going to be watching self-improvement videos. Let's be honest here. And I know a lot of y'all are trying to bash, black women and bash women, this and that, but let's be honest. Kevin literally said, I couldn't make a show on self-improvement and rely on men to call in. But women are the ones calling in for self-improvement. Okay? Just okay, just keep that in mind, okay? All you guys, all the people say, I can't understand why women are calling in. If we're just taking it for what it is, and they believe that he was an actual guru, right? Then women are the ones that were seeking self-improvement. So it already belittles your argument to try and go after black women in that regard, because black women were the ones that gave Kevin Samuels the platform through allowing him, your savior, to try and teach them the better way. So you attacking black women whilst also recognizing or seeing black women are trying to, now I get that a lot of women were attitudey or whatever, this and that, but you also have to keep in mind that this dude was on the live panels, right? This dude was on live panels talking crazy to women before anything even happened. Kevin would be like, what's your dress size? They'd be like, well, what's your dress size? What's the irony in that? Kevin wasn't with a small woman when he died. Allegedly, forgive me, y'all, allegedly. He was not, from the pictures that we've seen, allegedly, she's not a small, she's thick. She's thick. She's well thick, right? She's thick, but she's not that petite size 4 European dress size 1876 standard that Kevin Samuels was always harping about day in and day out. But that's what we've been talking about on this channel, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we talk about this all the time. And that's why we talk about the realities of modern dating, which is that women have power. Women will continue to have power, and they're going to continue to gain power in our technologically advanced social media dating age. That's just the facts of the matter. Guys who win are going to win and try and become and make yourself a winning guy. But Kevin knew that most guys don't want to listen to that message, and we've seen this time and time again on this channel, right? We've gone to Fresh and Fit's channel and seen the videos of them talking about real estate, and it has 19,000 views, and the video directly to the left is a video called Frank Castling a Woman out of our podcast, and the video to the right is a dumb bimbo tries to talk down to Myron, so he kicked her out, and it has 457,000 views, and that one has 784,000 views. But the real estate video that has a lesson teaching you how to become the winner so you can have the podcast like Myron and Fresh and Fit has 20,000 views. So this illegitimate, this really cognitive dissonant type mindset that these guys have for trying to attack the women in this case, maybe sometimes I could try to have the conversation with these guys and be like, oh, I understand what you're talking about. I understand that you're probably upset because your godfather and people are talking bad about him and things of that nature. Hang on, I feel like I hear something. Feel like I hear something. Yo, if I end up dipping for a second, then yeah, you already know what the deal is. But so Kevin already knew that there's no point in trying to save. Really, he's saying there's no point in trying to save the guys. Let me read some of y'all's comments really quickly and make sure that there's volume and everything. If there's no volume, we're probably already out of there. So we're probably already out there. 257 views. Make sure you like the video. There's only 47 likes, y'all. I'll end the video right now. We need to get at least to 100 likes. Like the video. Like the video, all right? Please do like the video. Donate if you can. Like the video at the very least. It's free, all right? So, Kevin, a lot of things, and this, guys, we've been saying this, right? a single mom. Let's talk about single moms for a second, right? Because one of the biggest things Kevin always like to say, oh, you're going to die alone. If you don't have this, if you're going to do this, you're going to die alone. You're going to die alone. You're going to die alone. And we're going to talk about whether or not Kevin actually, technically, if you believe or you feel he died alone. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But once again, we are trying to have these conversations or bring things back to reality, because what's happened is a lot of that stuff sounds good online, but in reality, when you hear that he's with a thick Latina who isn't a size 4 or this or this or that, you're like, well, she does look good though, but that's not what his platform was made or catered to. So online, Kevin knew, and I'm not saying he's bad or wrong or this and that. He just made a business move. At the end of the day, I have a question, and I'm going to write this question down. So if you're listening on audio, this is the question. We're putting it in the poll right now. The question is, do you believe that Kevin Samuels actually believed in what he talked about? Where's the question? Jesus. All right. I like put the question away from every other question in this part. Ridiculous. All right. Do you believe that Kevin Samuels actually believed what he talked about? We're going to watch the video one more time. I know we're going to have people be like, well, not necessarily, right? Let's watch the video one more time. Before we watch that one, we're going to watch a different one, though, okay? Let's watch another clip of Kevin interacting with some women. For the guys who feel like maybe we had the wrong concept of him.
With that being said, there should be rules and regulations when you
Well, let's
step into
start out
marriage.
with the first rule. Let's start with the first rules. How tall are you?
How tall am I? I am 5'8".
Dress size?
16.
All right, you broke the first
14.
rule right there.
Right? So he's playing the Humpty Dumpty music, right? The Humpty Dumpty music, when we saw that allegedly, if the pictures of Ortega Aralencia are correct, allegedly, whatever her name is, she's definitely a size 16 as well. I don't know. What size do y'all think she is? I don't know sizes.
I don't know what you think. I don't know what you think you're talking about, that a man shouldn't cheat or whatever. When you broke the first rule,
Now listen, I don't hear any women right here arguing back on Kevin Samuels. I don't hear any women cussing Kevin Samuels out. I don't hear any women saying anything back to Kevin Samuels. And we have trombone music being played while he's telling a girl that's not even that big, because it's the girl right here being circled with my mouse. She doesn't even look that big, to be completely honest with you, but completely just destroying her.
want women who are fit.
She's agreeing.
You weigh more. You weigh more than
she said. That is true. She's agreeing. So we need to really be honest with ourselves. And a lot of guys are really being exposed by this too. They say the women are being exposed. I've watched Kevin Samuels a great amount. Most of the time, the women that come on there aren't these loud-mouthed ghetto that you try and portray them out to be. Is there delusion in some cases? Absolutely, there might be delusion, and there is delusion in some cases. You best believe it. Yes, there is. 100%. But there's also false delusion that's implemented or implanted into the conversation. For instance, when he walks up to a woman and he says, oh, well, what type of man do you want? Oh, I want a guy that can take care of me in the house. I want a guy that can pay for the bills or do this. What anybody would want, for Christ's sakes, right? We already know this. We've talked about this a million times. But he'll then start to implant that false delusion into the conversation of, oh, well, you can't have because that guy needs to make $100. He doesn't need to make $150,000. He doesn't need to make $100,000. That's a false delusion, because we already know the reality of the situation is you could make $1.7 billion a year, but if you're spending $2 billion a year, you're going to be in debt by $300 million a year. So it doesn't matter how much money you make to a certain extent. Obviously, you can't be making $20,000 a year and expect to get by in capitalistic America, but it does matter to a certain point, at a certain point, and it does really kind of balance itself out. It comes down to the person and their characteristic, their morals, their principles, their integrity, their fiduciary responsibility, or their financial or their fiscal responsibility, right? That all matters a lot more than the actual dollar amount, because people win the lottery and go broke every day, yo. It's not the money that makes you valuable. That's not it at all. It's the characteristics. And if you have piss poor characteristics, then you'll never be valuable no matter how much money you have, okay? So let's go. Let's talk about one more thing. Let's go ahead and watch this video again. Let me look at y'all's polls. Really quickly. Did Kevin Samuels really believe in what he talked about? 59% of people said no. Kevin Samuels did not believe in what he talked about. 59% of people said no. Make sure we like the video, ladies and gentlemen. We have 114 votes. Did Kevin Samuels really believe what he said? Now, the thing about this is, let's look at this 41% number. 41% of people out of 116 votes really do believe that Kevin Samuels meant exactly what he said, even though we just got done watching a video of Kevin saying, if I tried to talk to men, I would not make money. If I tried to go after the brothers, it would not work. It just wouldn't happen. And I've done it before. I did it for 3 years. And ladies and gentlemen, we know he did it for 3 years. You can look at Kevin Samuels' channel and go to his first videos. As a matter of fact, we'll do that in 1 second. We'll go to his first videos. And you can see that he had been talking about how to apply cologne, how to do this, how to do that, how to make yourself the better type of guy. And those videos just do not get views because that is not what guys wanted to see, right? Now, what's the argument in that case? Well, are you saying that Kevin Samuels' message is irrelevant because the things he was saying is not appropriate or factual in all the cases? Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. In some of the cases it might have been, but remember, once again, we just watched a clip of Kevin Samuels talking to 4 women who sat blank-faced and said nothing to him while he played fat trombone music, trying to mock and meme Big Shirley and calling her a linebacker as she nodded her head in agreement to try to figure out the solution. But the problem that I always saw with the live streams is that there wasn't as much of a solution. And I don't know if Kevin purposely did that or if he just didn't have actual tangible solutions. The big solution we heard a lot of the time with Kevin Samuels when a woman was trying to ask for advice was that you need to lose weight and seek therapy, right? I think therapy is a great piece. I think therapy is wonderful. We need to go to therapy. We need to do all those types of things. But at the end of the day, I need you to realize that everybody on this channel that's been watching me for a while already realizes this, is that Kevin was a businessman and he turned his show into a business. He recognized where the money was at. The money was collectively in gaining momentum against one side or the other. And that's why we have split as a gender war. You have the manosphere, the woman's sphere, you have the red pill, the blue pill, the pink pill, you have feminists, you have all kinds of different things, right? And so as we've been progressing, the internet's formed this collective stewing pot, and people are just jumping in, adding their ingredients to the pot, getting a little bit out, serving their bowls, and then walking off into the sunset with their nice cash stack, and everybody's trying to do that right now. Now, Kevin was able to do it in a way that was different. We had a guy wearing a suit who was middle-aged, who was well-spoken, who was collegiately educated, who had been married. We don't see that type of guy as much in the populous black community. So Kevin was able to come with some manospheric, white manospheric talking points, with some very conservative type of talking points, as well as some, I don't want to say, Jesus Christ, as well as some urban or some or black community targeted talking points, and he was able to kind of make this interesting mesh or blend, right? So he did that really well. I'm not knocking him, but you also have to remember, if we just go right back to this video, he did it for a reason, and he knew the reason. The reason was because he knew it would work. Now, once again, I'm not saying that maybe some of the women aren't delusional, but I'm also saying that Kevin Samuels definitely lit the fire up a few times, right? And I'm not saying about marijuana. That was a terrible metaphor.
Sometimes guys don't want to hear that truth. We just don't. If I come on here talking about,
terrible metaphor,
female nature, such and so forth, and if I would start bashing women or talking noise, oh man, the likes and everything will go through the roof.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that's Miss Elite. Miss Elite on YouTube had that video. Make sure you go subscribe to Miss Elite. She had that video on her channel. So let's go to the next question. I have another question for you, okay? Let's move on.
Start talking to men saying, guys.
I'm sweating like crazy. I have another question. Next question for the polls. Do you believe that Kevin Samuels was financially broke? This is being reported by Media Takeout. All right? This is another reason why we're getting ready to lose freedom of speech, all right? We're getting ready to lose freedom of speech online. I'm just going to tell you that right now. For sure. So this is being reported by a lot of people. I'm not showing the Media Takeout thing. We're just going to watch this article really quickly. Check this out. Kevin Samuels died broke, deeply in debt with less than $1K in account. This is what this article says here. Let me blow this up to this shot. Thank you to everybody that's been donating to the channel. I don't know if you've been donating, but like the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Like the stream. Bombshell, huh? Less than 1K. Less than 1K. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Samuels on some live streams made more than $20,000 in a night, okay? I need you to understand that, okay? I need you to understand that. Going into this, relationship master Kevin Samuels died on Friday. Media Takeout announced during a heartfelt experience with a Caucasian lady he had recently met. Media Takeout talked to one of Kevin's companions who had been in contact with his family, and he guarantees that Kevin was profoundly in the red. As indicated by the companion, Kevin's family had been attempting to recognize every one of his resources. That's a bad choice of words. This is horribly written. Recognize. And had just had the option to find under $1,000. Okay, let's go to the media takeout article, because Jesus, that's like written by friggin' turtles or something. I have no idea, right? Let's go to the media takeout article. They're saying that Kevin died broke. Yo, Kevin did not die broke, yo, okay? Kevin had a lot of money, okay? Kevin had a ton of money. So and I'm going to just say this, just to give you all day. Thank you who just donated if somebody donated. I think somebody did. I'm going to just give you all an idea, okay? Kevin's apartment, I believe his penthouse was $7,500 a month. Kevin had just bought a $109,000 Ferrari, I believe, cash. Was it a Ferrari? A Ferrari or Porsche cash, right? So he was spending $7,500 a month for his penthouse suite in Atlanta, $109,000 cash for a Ferrari. And keep in mind, Kevin Samuels blew up in 2020, okay? So he got that car this year, got paid all of last year, but he was just cashing out really this year, okay? He was just Kevin Samuels is balling, okay? I've already said on my last live stream how much I estimate he made or he was making a month. Just off of AdSense alone, y'all. Not even the donations that he gets. Just off of AdSense alone, just from his views. The amount of views he gets. Kevin was getting 250,000 views of video, yo. That's, oh, Jesus. Let me do the math. Oh, jeez. That's about 75. Is that about $750 to $1,000? I think that's like $1,000 a video, somewhere around there. Hold on, $7 per every 1,000 views. $7 every 1,000 views. $7. Okay, if I have $7. $7. Okay, we'll come back to that. Now, moving on. He had a lot of money, okay? A stupid amount of money. That's a stupid rumor, and if you really believe that, you probably like, come on, like, we got to be honest, guys. Kevin was balling, okay? So let me go back to another thing. I'm not going to even ask that question if you believe Kevin was broke. You know what? I'll ask it. I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat as a poll. I didn't put it in the chat. Do you believe Kevin was broke? This is the next question. If you want to answer the question, if you're listening on live audio, make sure you go to the video that you're listening to right now, and you can click A, yes, or no. It is. Make sure you like the video. Y'all, 729 people watching. I know a lot of y'all are new. You don't know who I am. Just like the video, all right? Just like the video. Don't listen to anything else I'm saying, and like the video, all right? We'll listen to see what y'all think there, all right? So there's another bombshell. Kevin was apparently broke. So he died with a woman who, and Lord have mercy. Now listen, a lot of guys think that Kevin went out the right way. I mean, a lot of guys are saying he didn't die alone. That he died with a woman in the embrace of a beautiful woman's arms, right? That's going to be the next question after this. After we see the polls of this, do you believe that Kevin died alone? What is alone essentially? Now, I know the argument is semantical. We're all going to die alone. I get it. We're all going to die alone. I know my shoulders are messed up. Right? We're all going to die alone. I get it. But technically he wasn't alone because she called, authorities and things of that nature. Now, he wasn't married. Maybe I don't know the relationship with his daughter, right? Or the child's mother or his family personal relationships. I'm not going to speculate on that at all. But I think when we're talking about dying alone, that is what we tend to reference a lot more often than not. Like the actual process of, or maybe just not having anybody there for you, right? I just did something crazy to the dang stream, and I was like tripping. So that'll be the next question. Did he actually die alone? Let me see if I messed up. Did I mess up my stream here? I might have. No, we did not mess up the stream. We are good to go. All right. Let's look at the results here. What do y'all think? Let's look at the poll results. Out of 149 votes, no, 60% of you do not think that Kevin Samuels died broke, financially broke. I can tell y'all, Kevin Samuels is not broke. All right. For about 40% of y'all that think he did, all right, we're gonna have to work on ourselves, y'all. We're gonna have to work on ourselves. Kevin is not broke. Kevin is rich off of YouTube. Kevin's rich off of ads alone. Not rich. He's wealthy off of ads alone. Not wealthy. He's made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of ads alone. Now, don't also forget, y'all. He didn't do sponsorships, I don't think, but he did talk about colognes. He's got 1 million subscribers. Do you know how much a cologne company would pay you for 1 million subscriber promotion for one video? Man, they'd write you a $100,000 check. No cap. Starting at $100,000, 6 figures. You better believe it. These social media influencers are making 6 figures off of one video, yo. You don't believe me? Google it. All right, next question. Do you believe the death of Kevin Samuels was unnatural or a foul play of events? Tabitha Pulliam with the $50 super chat said you're doing an excellent job. Tabitha Pulliam with the $50 super chat says you're doing an excellent job, little bro. Thank you, Tabitha. I appreciate that. Very professional and impartial reporting. I am not well versed in the topic, but now I am intrigued. Thank you, Tabitha. I am glad that you were intrigued, and I'm happy that you're here with us. Make sure that you like, subscribe, turn your notification bell, and set it to all notifications. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, politically and celebrity-wise. We'll just roll with it. I know that's not proper English. In the near future. The next question, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put in the polls right now. Tabitha, come and do it. The $50 super chat. That means a lot. Do you believe the death of Kevin Samuels was unnatural? Here's why we're asking this, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Samuels just made it to his peak, essentially. 56 or 57, we don't know that much, to be honest with you. Years old, just made it, and dies. Now, let's consider the factors of which these heart attacks, which, I mean, it sounds like a grand type of, it was a big one, obviously, right? It was a big one. I don't know much. I'm not a medical professional or things of that nature, and I know that can happen. But once again, the message of the manosphere and men like Kevin Samuels was to speak to the women that we just got done watching, right? And telling them, these types of women here, that if they don't get their act together quickly, they're going to die alone. Let's continue on with this video.
Man at your height. True or false?
I'm
True or
around a
false?
lot of chubby dudes, so
No, but okay. How much do you weigh?
220.
I weigh 210 and I'm 6'4". You broke the first rule. See, you ladies don't mind breaking the rules. The men are visual. The men want women that are fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. I don't mind being the size of, I'm sorry, you're 5'8"?
I'm 5'8".
You're about the size of Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders was.
All right, so she's an NFL lineman or NFL running back size, right? Let's watch one more video here, okay? It's just humiliating, dude. That's like, golly, bro. I'd be like, all right, I'm out. I appreciate you, though. Thanks for helping, you know?
Self.
Of dicks, yeah.
Yeah, you do too. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She's getting sassy. Okay. Now she's getting sassy for sure. Now, if somebody comes on talking like this, I can maybe understand a bit more of the warrant for, we need to correct and hold accountable. But this was not the majority.
no.
Do you want to be married?
Yes, I do.
Do you want children?
Yes, I do.
Do you think your husband will be a musician, an actor, or an athlete?
Yes, I absolutely do. What? Yeah, I know.
Now, she's got looks. She's stunning. She's beautiful, right? She's got looks. She's put together well. I'm sure her body looks amazing. But the fear-mongering like we see in the media, the fear-mongering like we see in politics, the fear-mongering like we see in so many aspects of society was one thing that the manosphere is one thing that these millions of guys that subscribe to the message that women need to come back down to reality and give us a chance, right? The fear-mongering is used against them of no, you can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. The same thing that they've been telling people or telling you your whole lives that you can't do something. Well, why not? Why can't? Now, if the reasoning substantiates itself as to why you can't get a baller or a rapper or something along that nature, then naturally, yes. But the next best guide for Kevin Samuels would be to help or assist in a proper manner to which the actual response will be emotionally accepted, will be psychologically accepted. Because once you tell somebody that they're a linebacker, once you tell somebody that they're as big as Emmitt Smith, the odds of them listening to your message go down dramatically, right? Go figure. All right.
4 or 5. That's the men that I be with. So
How old are you?
I'm 30.
So good.
No.
Yes, those are the kind of men I attract. I be around.
Now, I don't know if Kevin knew what's going on in the modern day dating, but women like this have their inbox on Instagram, Tinder, Facebook, Zanga, MySpace, their email box full of hundreds of messages from men, and they get 10s to 20s to 30s, some of them hundreds of messages and DMs a day. Okay, so we are in a different day, ladies and gentlemen, and a lot of guys are having a problem with accepting the reality of the options that women have. Now, Kevin Samuels was seen as the savior to this. Kevin Samuels was seen as the man that was going to tell women, specifically black women, in a humiliating type of manner online that if they don't lower their crazy standards, they're going to die alone. Well, it's hard for somebody to hear that, and this is why they're rebutting this to you, Kevin, or why they were, Kevin, and to everybody who supported Kevin, why they were saying this is because that was not what was actually going on in their lives in the moment. As a matter of fact, it doesn't matter if you have children. It doesn't matter if you have multiple children. It doesn't matter if you're overweight. If you have every strike against you, more than likely, if you're a woman dating in 2022, there's a guy out there that is willing to accept and to love you as well. Now, it might take a little bit longer. He might not be the high value guy. He might not be this. He might not be that. But women understand that, and they're not willing to necessarily go for, and they are more willing to, in a lot of cases, say, hey, you know what? I don't want to, I'm not going to go. I don't want to get married. I don't want to. It's not important to me anymore. And so that's what we're starting to see. Instead of understanding, I think a lot of guys are starting to make it even worse for themselves. Now, let's talk about this Roe v. Wade thing for a second. I heard, who did I hear talking about this for a second, right? Because the Roe v. Wade situation and discussion, I know I'm getting like crazy right here, right? The Roe v. Wade situation and discussion is fascinating. A lot of guys and the manosphere guys, the guys who like and love and support Kevin Samuels, are happy that there's not going to be any more of the Roe v. Wading going on, or that it's going to become illegal or something like that. Really quick detour. I know, just 30 more seconds before we get back into this video. But the problem with this is that there's already a good amount of guys out there that don't want to take care of their children. So if abortion becomes illegal, then we're going to have far more accountability for guys. And so, fellas, I need you to understand that for all the guys in the manosphere that are now happy that women need to be being held more accountable because of their bodies and the partners and the children that they make and things of that nature, okay, that's fine. But also keep in mind that since you enjoy sex as well, if you decide to make a baby or create a baby in the future after Roe v. Wade gets whatevered, and you don't work out with that woman in a relationship, you will be held accountable too. Because remember, when we point one finger at somebody, we got three pointing back at us. Let's go back to this video.
My resume kind of speaks for itself.
of dicks, yeah.
Yeah, you do too. But
Right. So just straight disrespect. I don't know like what y'all think, or I don't know how y'all really trying to like masquerade that Kevin was like just this utmost like, well, young lady, bro, that was not Kevin at all. Now, the real insult first was given by Kevin in this case. Kevin gave the first real insult, okay? Kevin gave the first real insult. So now what you have is something that we talked about before. Let me close out this poll. We have another question coming up. I'm going to close out this poll, and let me ask this next question, all right? Because now you have Kevin actually acting on what he initially said that he didn't believe in the first place to some extent. Now, whether or not he believes it at this point, it's a different matter. But you got to understand, Kevin Samuels originally started YouTube before he was popular, talking to the guys. Upon it not working out, he recognized he has to talk to the women. And once he started talking to the women, he understood that if you talk to women in a certain way, if you do stuff in a certain way online, if you can bash and hold it under accountability, like we see other content creators who are not walking the same walk, but still online making it seem like it's the same talk, right? If you can bash, if you can shame, if you can humiliate, the same problems that we have really deeply entrenched in the black community, but there's no protection for a good amount of children that grow up in the black community. The same thing that we see, the same women that are not maybe necessarily able to get the right advice, get good advice, get this, get that. Well, when the women called Kevin Samuels' show, you got extremely upset at them because you said they were argumentative, even though they were trying to call it, possibly figure out the issue or whatever might be. But you're also upset at the women that don't want to call Kevin Samuels' show because you feel like they don't want to enlighten or make themselves better. So I don't know in what world you think that somebody calling you a linebacker in front of 20,000 people or 15,000 people isn't humiliating. But as a content creator that has a few some odd people that watch me every once in a while, I can tell you that the opinion of 15 to 20,000 people is a very traumatic event. And it's very entertaining for those 15 or 20,000 people. So entertaining, as a matter of fact, that Kevin Samuels was able to make a live stream career that made him a millionaire after those types of antics were released continuously through multimedia platforms like World Star Hip Hop, like like Google, Yahoo. He's been everywhere at this moment in time. He's been shared by millions of people. I would estimate that Kevin Samuels' net web reach, this is a term that I just made up just now, net web reach. What is that, Jonathan? Well, net web reach is when one person tells another person, that person tells two more people. Now, I'm sure there's an actual term for it. Whatever it is, y'all can correct me, but I feel like I'm a genius, so I'm going to make that up and coin it net web reach. He had 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube, but his net web reach was an estimated, in my opinion, 15 to 25 million people. That means that Kevin was so popular, there's not a single city, there's not a single state that he could walk around for more than, I'd say, 10 or 15 minutes without one person recognizing him and being like, oh, that's Kevin Samuels. Kevin was that popular at that point in America. So that's another reason why I was confused why TMZ wasn't reporting it immediately. They've been tweeted, I don't even know how many hundreds of thousands of times. People are trying to figure out what was going on with Kevin. But going back to this message, Kevin knew that this message would get popular and he doubled down on it. My God, he doubled down on it. He became the new mantra, right? I mean, I don't even think Kevin knew that it would blow up as much as it blew up. But he knew that it would be successful. And that's big.
Guys don't want to hear that truth.
He knew guys don't want to hear the truth. He knows guys don't want to hear the truth. You know why? Because guys are more sensitive. Who was I watching? I think I was watching the Womansphere podcast. I'm pretty sure I was watching the Womansphere podcast. Organic Black, you could put the link in there if you want. Thank you, Organic Black, for modding. I know that the chat's going crazy right now. Next question, okay? Next question. Kevin knew it would be successful. He doubled down, and he went all the way in, right? Because that's what the guys want. That's what the people want. Hey, if the people of Colosseum in Rome want to see bloodshed, they want to see women get demoralized online, they're willing to pay you $150,000 every month in the year 2020, and you see that it can grow to $1 million a month in 2021, right? A lot of people are going to be willing. Not everybody. Some people aren't going to sacrifice their morals, but you got to or sacrifice their beliefs. Some people will build. I'm not saying he sacrificed morals. I'm not saying that at all, right? I'm not saying that at all. But my next question is this, okay? Oh, let me look at the answers. Did I do the poll? Did I even do the poll? Oh, did I do the poll? I'm trash, yo. Here you go. I don't know if I gave the first poll, yo. Thank you for whoever donated $5. The comment's definitely gone at this point, but you can email me thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. That's the question. Do you think that Kevin Samuels' death was due to unnatural events? We don't need to see cops right now. I want to make sure we keep it respectful here. A lot of people are speculating. We don't know. Most people say no. We're going to end the poll right there. Most people said no. Here's the next question. So we know that Kevin was, he knew that if he talked about women, he said it out of his very mouth, thanks to Miss Elite and her YouTube channel for dropping that video. He said it out of his very mouth that if I talk about the women, then I'll get it. So my thing is this. Kevin had a lot of people following him. Coach Greg Adams talked about this, by the way. Coach Greg Adams talked about this on his channel, and I think this is very interesting, right? We're going to get back to Kevin and what he did talking to women, how disrespectful the conversations were. We're going to get back to all that in 1 second. But Coach Greg Adams talked about this on his channel. Coach Greg Adams has known Kevin Samuels for a very long time. He's another YouTuber who's a part of the Manosphere group. He had a live stream called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly surrounding his death. Now, Coach Greg Adams and Kevin Samuels weren't on the best of terms per se, but they did definitely partake in the same group, right? The Manosphere, understanding that women need to be held more accountable. Coach Greg Adams, who you're seeing here, does not believe in marriage. He was married one time. It was very rough for him in his divorce. Admittedly, it sounds like it was a pretty bad divorce, but now he's on a pretty passionate tangent. He's been recently demonetized by YouTube. If you're a member on this channel, then you know that YouTube is going after these guys, these Manosphere guys, these Kevin Samuels types of guys, because of the message that they're preaching and the momentum that they're gaining, right? Hundreds of thousands, millions of guys are starting to watch these videos of all races, white, black, Asian, Hispanic. The Manosphere was started by white men, but it was gaslit, right, in the black community, because a lot of black guys were able to see and really connect to the message as well, right? I mean, child support, we meme those types of things, in our conversation, right? Little Child Support, right? There's a rapper named Little Child Support. But in this video, Coach Greg Adams talked about Kevin Samuels, and he mentioned that the amount of stress that Kevin Samuels was going through, he speculates, right? This is what he said, though. I don't have to say allegedly, but Coach Greg Adams speculates that might have sent Kevin to the grave a lot quicker. With the amount of hatred that Kevin got, with the amount of people that knew where Kevin lived, with the amount of people that always, were tweeting him, emailing him, and were trying to make him feel bad bad and this, and that. He says, and he thinks that might have sent him to the grave a lot more easier or quicker in conjunction with things like naturally doing, all kinds of different substances. Now, here's another conspiracy thing, y'all. Next question. Do you think that there were substances involved in this case? I read it somewhere. Allegedly, I saw that there were, or that there might have been. If somebody has a link, somebody give me the link. But do you think, oh wait, I just said that there's no foul play. Ignore that question, because that's kind of foul play. Here's the next question, right? Here's the next question. Kevin did this assuming Coach Greg Adams was right? And that maybe stress sent Kevin down a bit earlier because he looked healthy. I mean, I know people are dropping like flies. I don't want to get into, the cerveza jab and talking about anything medical. I don't want to get into talking about anything crazy or anything like that. I don't know if Kevin had the jab. I don't know if Kevin had anything or whatever it might have been, but I know a lot of people have a lot of preconceived notions around heart functionality and getting the jab. So I don't know if that was the case. Y'all can let me know in the chat if whether or not he was jabbed. But assuming that there wasn't something medically outside that induced this outside of stress and maybe just going too hard, that's a tough question here. If it was due to stress and things like that, I feel like, and this is once again what Coach Greg Adams says, the question is this. The question is, was it worth it? It doesn't even have to be a poll question, but was it worth it at the end of the day? I don't know. Some people are able to handle this game, man. Some people are able to handle this YouTube game and be okay, right? Some people are able to handle this live stream game, this YouTube game, and be okay. I'm going to tell y'all, man, I'm a mentally strong person. This is not for majority of the population. This is not what people, especially to be making a living on. Something that can be taken away like that. I mean, people know where you're living. I mean, YouTubers are pretty much the new celebrities. We don't have Hollywood celebrities anymore. Like, Hollywood's still using the same ass celebrities from like the 70s. Like, bro, why are we still watching movies with Will Smith, with Chris Rock? Y'all been using these niggas for 80, 100 years. Get like how many? Like dang, there are no more actors besides Will Smith and John Stamos. I don't know. Is John Stamos alive? I don't know. You know what I mean though. Like, damn, how much longer are we gonna see Robert De Niro? Is Robert De Niro alive? They're acting like damn near till they're in the casket. Like, geez, they need to swipe all of Hollywood out. That's why Hollywood's so boring. Now, Indian movies are really crazy. Not Indian movies, but like Asian horror movies are really freaking good. Also, European movies are amazing. Yo, check out the movie T-34. It's a tank movie. It's free on YouTube. T-34. Yo, just check. I don't even know why I'm promoting this. I don't know why I'm promoting this. I'm random as hell. Check out this movie. It's all in German. It's about like tanks and stuff. Yo, what the heck? We're gonna watch that right now in a second because I need to take a break. T-34. Yo, this movie is insane. Amazing. One of the best movies I've seen in my life. I said, man, Hollywood, y'all are done. Taking a break. I'll be right back. Hold on. Yes. We need to start being honest with ourselves, people. We need to start being honest. I know Kevin Samuels. I know y'all loved him. I know on the outside it seems, that he's the savior. Listen, I think that Kevin was on a mission. I know that he fulfilled his mission. I know that you had a lot of respect for him, but there were some things that on the outside were just a bit, right? It just wasn't, it was rude, man. It was just straight rude. Let's go back to this. Let's watch some more of the video. I don't know how this ended. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, your roster
Yes.
of dead dicks is nice, but you got no wedding rings.
No, but they got NBA rings.
Cause
So.
you're a side chick.
Okay. This whole marriage thing, okay? We're gonna address this really in the future, and I'm gonna make like a whole series on this. Make sure that you become a member because this is gonna be a members only series about talking about marriage. Well, one video will be free. Marriage is not what it used to be, okay? Let's stop doing that.
I'm not though. This dude proposed to me before, so
Before or after the orgasm?
we never even
Just
did anything.
straight vile, yo. Like, what are y'all talking about, guys? What are we talking about right now? What are we talking about right now? Y'all acted like this dude was like a big, like, saint or something like that, yo. That's kind of vile, yo. Before or after the orgasm, did he propose to you? I wouldn't even be able to think like that to say something like that. I'd be like, nigga, what'd you just say to me? Before or after the orgasm?
For I just, but that was it.
All right. Let's go to another one.
The union,
That's
which is
bullshit.
like the marriage.
Hey, man.
He's flipping her off. What are y'all? Yo, y'all are insane, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I might have been. Let me see if he said something to her, because Kevin Samuels was straight. Y'all say savage. Y'all say this. Y'all say that. Yo, this dude was an abuser, man. I'm sorry, and I don't wish death. I still don't wish death on Kevin Samuels. I still don't wish Kevin Samuels to die. I still wouldn't want that. I would want Kevin Samuels and I to have a conversation, or Kevin Samuels and somebody to have a conversation and be like, yo, dude, like there's a way to get to talk to people without holding middle fingers up at them and all this crap.
Government just keeps track with your just keeps up with your money. Like love is about the union.
That's
which is,
bullshit.
like, the marriage.
She's talking about love, and he flips her off saying, fuck you, and then tells her that it's bullshit. She's not cursing at him. She's not saying anything crazy to him, but it's bullshit? Are we watching the same thing, gentlemen?
Hey, man, Nick Cannon, shut the fuck up.
All right. So this is the more disturbing factor of this, okay? This is the more disturbing, and this is why the government's getting ready to get rid of free speech, because 1.4 million people, all right? 1.4 million people subscribed to and followed. Once again, the net web reach of Kevin Samuels, I estimate to be 15 to 25 million people. 15 to 25 million potential people that support the message that you just got done hearing here, to tell a woman to shut the F up after flipping her off. And maybe she, okay, it says she disrespected her parents because they live average, all right? In the middle there, I don't know what she might have said, but listen, okay? I don't know how she disrespected them or whatever it might have been, but a lot of people come from poor houses and they're like, yo, my parents were poor. I didn't want to live like that. And then the parents were like, yeah, we're going to ship you out of here. We shouldn't have had you here. Like, go. and then they get them out of there. Okay? The parents will be like, yo, we messed up. We're sorry. Like, get out of there. Like, the parents want you to do better than them, you know? The parents want the next generation, at least good parents do, want the next generation to supersede what they've been doing. That's, if your kids don't do better than you, then what the heck are you doing, right? So this girl's saying, I don't know what she said to her parents or what this or what that, but there's still no need, because I know she wasn't cursing out her parents on live. I know she wasn't saying that her mom's an effing B word and that her mom's on some bullshit. I know she wasn't saying that, Kevin.
This dude got like 18 women pregnant right now.
But if you think about it,
No, I need you to be quiet.
Okay.
Because you're listening to a guy who's a multimillionaire who wears a turban. And I'm saying this because you cannot talk about what a celebrity and a creative does. We're the only people who let the celebrities, athletes, and entertainers.
All right, I don't even know what he's talking about right now. Let's go to the next one. All right, let's check this one out. Maybe she disrespected her parents bad enough for Kevin to do that. I don't know.
Of it, because it is
Man,
crazy.
She is beautiful, dude. Jesus.
You're almost 40 years old.
She's almost 40? Bro, what are we talking about here, yo? The Wall? She's almost 40? Look at her face. Fuck. God, y'all better...
2 kids. Talking about celibate? You need to be trying to give that shit away to secure a man.
No.
Okay. All right. It's time for another question. Do you think Kevin Samuels gave good advice? This is the next poll question. Do you think Kevin Samuels gave good advice? There you go. Thank you for the $10 super chat from Brown Bunny. $10 super chat from Brown Bunny. I'm sweating like a freaking pig. Brown Bunny says, it's funny how the women he talked about and men he didn't want them look exactly like his mother. Look then, okay. Well, you know, they say guys go for women that look like their moms, right? Or that, you know, remind them of their moms. Yo, this nigga Kevin was great. This nigga Kevin did not give a fuck. This nigga Kevin did not give a fudge. Okay, I'm gonna try and mod somebody else real quick because I know it's probably going crazy in the chat right now. But you know, hey, the chat craziness is kind of part of the stream. The chat craziness is kind of part of the stream. Let me see if I trust anybody in the chat right now to mod. I don't trust anybody right now. Oh, Diana's modding. Yay, shout out to Diana. Thank you, Diana, for modding. We got 2 mods in the chat. The rest of y'all's names, I do not recognize. Not going. Oh, Laura, I see Laura in here. Laura, I don't know. Laura, you know I love you. I know Laura might get the blocking everybody, though. Nia, I see Nia in here. I don't know if Nia's still in here. Okay, I think Nia's in here. Nia, you are now moderating. Welcome to the mod squad. Just don't go blocking everybody, y'all. Don't go blocking everybody. All right. Let's look at the polls. Look at the polls. The poll is now up. If you want to answer the poll, you can do that. I want to thank everybody that's been watching. We have still a lot of people watching. Make sure you like the video. If you're new here, subscribe, but you probably won't be interested in most of the content I drop, to be honest with you. But if you're interested in this, you might be. I don't know. So if you're interested in Kevin, subscribe. Who knows? We're doing a poll right now. We're going on an hour. How long have I been going on? If you want to hop onto the broadcast, you want to talk to me, then you can definitely talk to me. I'm going to drop that Zoom link right now. So if you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. I'm not for everyone is in the building. We got another mod. All right, we got mods. Good deal. We got mods in the building. All right, thank y'all. I'm not for everyone. Thank you. I'm not for everyone. Opening up Zoom. Hopefully you downloaded Zoom right now. If you didn't, you're out of there. At least for now. But you can always download Zoom and then get back in there. Thank you for all of our Cash App donators. Let me just check the Cash App through my email, assuming that the Cash App notification in my email is going to work. Of course, Zoom has to update right now. Right now, Zoom has to update. There we go. Zoom has decided to connect. Let's open this meeting. New meeting. All right. Join with computer. Oh, is my volume off? My volume's probably off. I don't know if my volume's off, but somebody's calling me. If you're calling me, then you're not getting picked up. And I'm sorry for the ringing, y'all. All right. Okay, we got Zoom going. How do I invite people again? Jeez, why is Zoom so freaking trash? There you go. Copy invite link. All right. You need a passcode, and you need to click this link to get into the Zoom meeting. All right. $50 super chat from Black Mama. $50 super chat from Black Mama. Man, Black Mama supporting. I appreciate that, Black Mama. I'm going to read it right now. My R key on my computer is broken, so I can't even type the freaking password. This is like astronomical levels of dust right now. All right, alphabet and cap. I have to Google the alphabet and cap. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. Y'all don't understand what I'm talking about. I got a $750 laptop. I got to copy this passcode right here, and it has a capital R. But my R key on my keyboard does not work. So I got to Google the letter R, copy it, Control C, go back to Zoom, go back to YouTube, dust, and then paste it in there, and then the rest of the letters, RKL 9QL. All right, we're buying an external keyboard soon. There's the Zoom meeting. Once you come into the Zoom meeting, you're going to have to say something because I'm not going to hear you. $50 super chat from Black Mama. Says, great commentary, brother. I pray people hit the super chat or Cash App for you. I pray they do too. You and I are in kindred spirit, my sister. For your positive content as much as people donate for mess on other channels. Love. Yeah, and you know what happened, Black Mama? I knew, and I knew because I stopped doing the YouTube for a second because, I was doing, it was definitely messy, but it was still, I did my content with a purpose, right? Because I did believe in it. I believed that there was but I recognized that other people weren't just taking the content and actually trying to use it to like make themselves better, right? They were just trying to use it and like feed their blood sport or bloodshed. And I noticed that like, I don't know, there was definitely some things that needed to be addressed on both sides of the blood sport or the bloodshed. And so I just had to be honest with myself. And I was like, yo, I don't care at this point because, I already had like a lot of people that were upset at me and doing this and doing that. And I was like, we need to really have a conversation because a lot of the things I said, this patch was stuck on my arm. I can't believe that. A lot of the things I said were kind of, so yeah, unpopular opinions. And yeah, a lot of people chase money on this platform. I try to just do the good content and try to just be honest and be me. And if it works, it works. And I hope that it works. So thank you for recognizing that, and everybody that donated, I appreciate that. We have a lot more to talk about. We're going to wait for some people to hop onto the Zoom meeting. The good thing about Zoom is that we can get other people's perspectives. We can get other people's unique ideas and figure out where they lie in this entire thing. Did I have a poll up? I did have a poll up. Did Kevin Samuels give good advice? Well, it looks like 200 people have voted on this poll. 72% of those 200 people said no. Can everybody tell me 72% of 200? Is it 72? Is 72% of 200 72? Probably not. 28% of people said yes, he gave good advice. I tell you what, gentlemen, if you're one of those guys, thank you so much for pasting that link again. I tell you what, we have amazing moderators in the chat right now. Pasting that link again so I can pin it. Thank you, Organic Black. I can pin that message. Most people here. Now, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, we know we have a lot of ladies. Let's go ahead and go back while we're waiting for people. Let's go ahead and watch another conversation with Kevin, all right? Let's watch another conversation. Maybe we have the wrong idea of him, all right? We're not trying to speak ill of anybody's death, but we have to be honest here. Sometimes if you create an environment of hostility for yourself, you can't be upset or shocked or surprised when you end up returning to the environment and the people are still mad at you,
How many children do you have?
3. And 3 baby daddies, and they all gangbang.
So what do you want as an outcome?
I want somebody that's loyal.
All right. I'm going to be honest. I think this is a fake. I think this is fake. This is fake. This is fake, allegedly. I believe this is fake, 1,000,000%.
It's really hard to find loyalty nowadays. You really can't find it at the next corner or none of that. Like these men now.
Hold on. Loyal to what end? Like a husband? What are you talking about?
I want a husband. I want to get married.
What do you do for a living?
I'm trying to figure it out.
I get EDD.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
I don't know what that is.
See, it's way too acting to me. It's way too act out. Way too act outish to me. I don't know. It seems very unauthentic to me.
Unemployment. An
unemployed mother of 3 with 3 baby daddies, and you talking about you can't find a man?
Yes. It's I'm pretty sure God.
Yeah. That's fake. If you can't watch that and tell that's fake, right? There's an issue. But we already know there's an issue with half of the 1.4 million people. And once again, this isn't to get on Kevin, right? This isn't to bash anybody particularly, because I'm not going to bash a man who's not here anymore like that. But we have to be honest. Kevin, the truth about it is he was not a nice guy to a lot of black women, okay? He was not a nice guy. He just wasn't. Now, you can say all day that, oh, well, your facts don't care about your feelings and this, and that. Yeah, they don't care about your feelings until it's your mom's feelings, until it's your sister's feelings, until it's a little black boy calling your daughter something in school, and then you want to be up at the school shooting up the school, my nigga, right? It's not like a lot of y'all could hit anything anyways, for God's sakes. Kids dying in drive-bys. How y'all shooting the kids? All you gotta do is walk up to the nigga that you trying to have a problem with, but y'all are doing drive-bys and killing kids in the house. Ooh. Okay. But we know you don't want to deal with the real issue, but Kevin knew that too. Kevin said that the men don't want to deal with the real issue. He said it. I didn't say it. Kevin said that.
If I come on here talking about, female nature, such and so forth, and if I would start bashing women or talking noise.
And that's exactly what he started doing. That's what we just saw a second ago. Bashing women.
Oh man, the likes and everything will go through the roof. But when you start talking to men saying, guys, cheap is some of the most expensive stuff out there. You gotta do better with.
This is Sparta!
The truth is undefeated, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot defeat the internet will always be undefeated. The internet will always hold everybody and everything accountable. The internet never forgets. Right? People change. Yes, we can change. Yes, we need to change. Yes, the goal of life is to change, become a better person, do well for yourself, grow, right? That's obviously definitely the goal for sure. Right? That's the goal for sure. But changing and becoming a better person does I don't know if I can say that. We all change. We all do things in the past that we wish we wouldn't have said or done or this and that. But when you make a lifestyle, right? When you make a lifestyle and a concerted, conscious effort to go forth and be the divide in such a manner that Kevin decided to be and walk in, you'll have one side that deeply respects you because of that, and you'll have another side that is not going to really like you that much. And whether or not you feel like one side of the situation or the other side of the situation is right or wrong, I think you need to look at the collective result of what happened here. What's the takeaway from this entire Kevin Samuels situation? Well, ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to realize that not much is going to change in the dating sphere, in the dating realm. I don't know how many couples that Kevin married. I don't know how many couples got together because of that Seeking Facebook group that he had, the Mix. I don't know how many people came together and had a conversation at Starbucks after bumping into each other or stepping on the other person's shoe and then looking in each other's eyes and then being like, hey, do you watch Kevin Samuels on YouTube? And be like, yeah, I'm a feminine woman and I'm fit. And they got married 3 days later. I don't know how many times that happened outside of Kevin mentioning that, outside of anybody mentioning that they met because of Kevin Samuels or anything. I don't know how much that happened, right? But what I do know is that for the majority, not much is going to change for your real problems that you have. But the biggest issue that not much will change is because of the approach. The same thing that your pickup artists are telling you, gentlemen. The same thing that your red pill artists are telling you on how to get girls, how to become a better financial advisor, how to become a better business person, how to do this, how to do that, how to do this. The approach is one of the biggest things that they mention, so much so that we mention it that you get first impressions. So much so that we mention it in the red pill, or that they've mentioned in the red pill community, that a woman knows if she wants to lay in bed with you within the first 5 seconds of her meeting, smelling, talking, observing, watching, and seeing what you wear, seeing who you are. She knows within the first 5 seconds whether or not she can see herself in bed with you. That's what women have actually come out and said as well. They know off rip. Now, a guy can grow on them. He can get himself out of the friend zone, but he has to do one thing. He has to be accountable. Now, that's a completely different conversation. But Kevin Samuels, once again, right? Kevin Samuels, once again, knew about accountability. And what did Kevin say?
Don't want to hear that truth. We just don't. You know, if I come on here talking about...
I'm sorry, Kevin. What did you say about the men?
I want to hear that truth.
Dress size, you be all up in the way. Dress size, she has 6 in the face.
And a lot of times, guys don't want to hear that truth. We just don't. You know, if I come on here talking about...
Right. So... not much is going to change as far as your dating opportunities or availabilities because of Kevin Samuels, right? Not much at all. Now, Kevin was able to please you and gratify your need for bloodshed and destruction or humiliation because of your inability or your ineptitude or your lack thereof of the skills necessary to actually go out in front of modern dating, right? In front of dating and, in the digital age. And don't get me wrong, I understand that the dating field in 2022 is not fair. I get it. Women got a big advantage. What do you want us to do? What do you want me to do? The only thing I can tell you to do, if you really want the best out of everything, if you really want your solutions as a man, if you really want your results as a man. Now, I know Kevin Samuels wasn't about getting you women. I know Kevin Samuels was about talking to the women and making sure that the women understood that they need to lower their standards, that the women needed to come back to reality, that the women needed to understand that they're seeking too much. But as an indirect result of that, a lot of guys thought that Kevin would be their Messiah. That's why they called Kevin the Godfather, right? The Godfather in the movie The Godfather was a fictional character played by Rob Corleone. I think we have somebody on Zoom. Was a fictional character played by Rob Corleone, who was the patriarch of the entire family, who led the Sicilian mob into fame, wealth, fortune, right? But notice what I said. He led the Sicilian mob Do you think that there's any coincidence that Kevin Samuels referred himself as the Godfather? The only other person that referred himself as the Godfather was a man by Tom Likas. And we're going to talk about Tom Likas here in a little bit, because Tom Likas had a lot to say about Kevin Samuels, which was absolutely mind-blowing. Robert Cano's in the chat. We got Robert Cano in the chat. Robert Cano, the floor is yours, my friend. Good to see you in the building. What did you think about the entire Kevin Samuels situation?
Man, I want to say I'm 33 years old, and I grew up with a single mom, and I'm Latino, but I feel like, like a piece of me, like a piece of father just died. And
Damn.
yeah, and like I said, you don't have to agree 100% with this man is saying, but just take little pieces of it and use it to your day life basis. Like I say, I don't always agree 100%.
Right.
It's one thing you OD a red pill. If you take too much red pill, you're gonna overdose. So just be aware how women treat you, and take a different approach. Yeah.
I think that's a good response, Kano. It sounds like you're a balanced, thinker. You're a balanced man. And I do see the masculine, fatherly type of figure and effect that Kevin definitely did have, for a lot of guys who just didn't have, the fatherly type of figure, right? And he did have a message that, a lot of guys felt like needed to be said. Once again, I think the problem is for a lot of people is the way that message was said, right? And the manner of which it was said a lot of the times. But having said that, I do know and I do agree, and hey, even the women agreed that were on a show that, hey, yeah, okay, we see, we understand, but it's tough because once that wall goes up, there's no more conversation at that point. And I think that's what we're kind of having the issue with now, Robert, is that the wall is up, and so when we have guys like yourself who are like, oh, well, you know what, I'm not necessarily a destructive type of guy. I'm not necessarily out there seeking for any type of, woman. Now, do you date black women, Robert, or do you date, or do you date like, or whatever, or that was really a bad question, but I'm asking you. The reason I'm asking you is because Kevin Samuels' show was centered around black women, and so I'm interested to see, like, are you in black culture or what exactly?
Yes, I am. Okay. I am. In my high school, I did date it. I dated black women. Okay. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Our relationship never lasts. It'll last probably like a month, because I'm not that. You compare it to me, a Latino. I'm more like a nice guy. I don't have that aggressive approach. And then, I've noticed that these girls love these alpha males. It's just I don't have that characteristic as a Latino culture.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, I know the Latino culture has a sense of machismo, right? To some extent.
Oh yeah, we do that, but I guess I didn't have that with me, and versus when I see these, I do have black guys as friends as well, and they talk different. They have a different character, different culture, and then they just able to treat these girls like put them on check.
So you're a nice guy. You've always been a nice guy, and the relationships didn't last. How long was the longest relationship? Granted, we're talking about high school relationships, but I understand your point.
Right. So I'm gonna be honest. Most of my relationship, the longest relationship I ever been with, probably was 2 or 3 months. And the reason it didn't last long, because once they break up with me, I noticed that, now since we have social media, I see the other guy has a house. I see that other house has better vehicles. He can flex on buying this girl, Gucci or whatever. That stuff that I couldn't do. So when Kevin Samuels speak this kind of stuff, like, oh wow, this is the reason why it's an eye opener why I couldn't keep this relationship. It has nothing to do with love. It's just, what can I provide as a man?
Right. Okay. So, and let me read this off before I ask you a question. I have a question for you, and I appreciate your time. Queen of the South with a $25 super chat says, "Great commentary, THT. This is how I discovered your channel, your critiques of the manosphere. Glad to see you back." Well, I'm glad to see you back as well, Queen. It's good to see you. And Queen of the South has been a member on this channel for a good amount of time. I say member, I don't mean an actual channel member. If you want to become a channel member, though, you can click that super chat button that you see that glows every time somebody donates, and then click join. It's that button that you'll see right here on my screen. And once you click that button that you see on my screen, and click join, which will be somewhere right there. You can become a member and get access to the members only videos that we have. It's good to see Queen back in the building, and I appreciate everybody for donating and supporting. Hey, if you donated on Cash App, I appreciate that. So let me ask you, brother. I know the relationships didn't last long, and I know that there were issues because you didn't have that, and I get that. Yo, bro, I was the same way. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, I'm a nerd, right? I've always been a nerd, man. So right. I empathize with you. I do. I really do. There are external factors, I believe, that make a big difference. You know, if you have a nerd that's a good-looking guy, he's going to get women because he's good-looking. Now, he might not be able to have a 5-minute conversation past, hello. He might not be able to have a 2-month-long relationship because he might be Asperger's or might have ADHD to the max or, some sort of interaction, social anxiety. So it might fail, but his attraction and him pulling women to him because of his looks is enough to at least hypothetically get him into the door. So the goal is to get into the door, essentially. And then once you're in the door, you're able to show or strut your feathers. Now, I know about hypergamy and that women are always going to the next guy. And it sounds like hypergamy, a popular manosphere concept, is what you were dealing with then. And are you still dealing with it a bit now?
No. Okay. I got married.
All
I
right.
have 2 kids.
All right, man. So would you attribute a lot of that to Kevin?
Yes. I actually, like I said, I don't 100% do what Kevin Samuels asked for me, but
so let me ask you this. When did you get married?
I got married in 2013.
Well, you got married before Kevin Samuels then. So you would say Kevin made you a better man, though, or maybe a better married man is what you say.
Yes. Because my wife, I love her so much as just, she was, a modern woman. She was just, demanding a lot of stuff, and I had to, I don't say put in her place. That's the wrong way to say it. It's just
don't put anybody. Don't say that.
yeah. Don't say that. It's just to have an understanding, the point of view of saying, hey, you know what? I need you to calm down a little bit because the way you talk to me, you're yelling.
Right.
I don't yell at you. So we had to meet each other in the middle. How can we talk to each other and how because we're already adults. We already in the 30s. We can't be talking to each other like we're still in high school.
Right. So you would attribute Kevin Samuels with helping you and your wife get some sort of, reasonable and intellectual argumentative skill sets developed.
Have a better communication skills. And it was just
Did y'all seek therapy or did y'all go to counseling or therapy or something?
That's something that we want to try.
Okay.
And it's it's counseling, therapy is always great for us. Everybody needs therapy once in a while. But we work each other, and we have a better relationship now because of what I use when I see broadcasts of yourself and other Fresh and Fit, other YouTubers.
What's one piece of advice that Kevin gave you that you feel really manifested and helped you? I know it's hard to pick up one. I'll talk while you think about it. I'll give you a couple minutes to think about it. And here's why I'm saying this. It sounds like to me you're already a pretty reasonable and balanced person. I don't hear that much anger. I don't hear that much veracity. I don't hear that much testosterone measuring competition between you and another guy. It sounds like you're a pretty well balanced human being, bro. Mm-hmm. And so I understand, the getting into passionate, heated arguments with women, especially when you've had, relationship after relationship that didn't work, and they don't want to be real about things, and you feel like you need to, hold them accountable, or you need to, check them or stuff like that. The problem though is that the problem though is that for the most part, I think the bigger issue is probably just. Well, I don't want to say that. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say this. $5 super chat from Janelle, and I'm going to come back to it in 1 second. Give me a second because I got to think of, politically correct things. Janelle Rock says, some pieces of Kevin Samuels' advice would wreck someone's life, especially a woman's life. That plays right into what I was trying to say, so thank you. Some pieces of Kevin Samuels' advice would wreck someone's life, especially a woman's life. Absolutely. And things of that nature. And so that's kind of the big thing is what I'm trying to say now. And it's kind of one of the things to where I'm not saying a broken clock is right 2 times a day, but I think, and I'm just going to be honest with you, brother, man, I appreciate you and I'm glad that Kevin really helped you. But Robert, in my opinion, man, I feel it's such a disingenuous statement because most of the time, and I'm going to ask you a question in 1 second to maybe gauge whether or not I'm judging you correctly, but I feel like it's disingenuous, and I'll tell you why after I ask you this. Who else in the manosphere do you watch?
Like, what do you mean by that?
Just name another content creator that you watch in the manosphere
Taylor the Fiend.
Taylor the Fiend.
33 Secrets.
Let me look up Taylor the Fiend. Let me look up 33 Secrets. Okay, 33 Secrets is big. All right, here's 33 Secrets. Oh, is it AMS, Alpha Male Strategies?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Is that the okay, this is 33 Secrets right here.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, this guy right here. Cool. So he talks about, let's just look at his videos just to kind of get a sense of what he talks about. The tragic ending of lonely women over 40. This is why men are walking away from modern women. Modern women perfectly explains why men can't love, why women can't love men. Let's just listen to one real quickly because I want to ask you a question.
I'm so mad right now because I can't stand listening to my friends complain about losers anymore. Ladies, please hear me. Please listen to me when I say this. If you are going to spend your 20s, your defining decade, your prime, crying over a guy.
If you're talking honest, you're on mute.
Okay.
We can't hear you.
Oh, no, I'm not talking. I'm not. So I'm just going to ask you a question, Robert, and it's good to see you in the building. We'll go right to our next panel member here. I want to ask you a question, Robert. I'm not seeing much in here that's telling me how to become a better emotionally man as far as content and videos, bro. Right? I'm not seeing much in his channel that lends over, emotional responsibility, financial advice, this and that. And that's the problem I have with a lot of these conversations that I have with the guys. These are all geared towards women, bro. So this is why you never date divorced women, single women nearing the wall, feminist CEO, Steve Harvey goes off on Will Smith, Martin Lawrence demolishes Will Smith, single women over 30 are running out of men. This is why you'll never pedestalize women. And it's, I don't know, Amber Heard or somebody, I don't know. You don't believe the latest study? Chris Rock finally breaks silence. Single women over 60 refuse to settle. So it's disingenuous, Robert, the majority of it. Now, listen, you're a well-spoken guy. You're a nice guy. The issue is the message of what I'm saying gets convoluted in the message of what you're saying because you are a responsible human being. You are an adult that's actually married with a wife and with a family. But you need to understand that the message of the manosphere that you're trying to die on the hill of is not what you're actually living in your real life. That's not what these guys really talk about. And the influence of Kevin Samuels is such to where he had millions of subscribers that don't really know the true message of the manosphere. Now, you know the true message of the manosphere because you know these guys who are content creators. So I know that you're not the guy that I'm talking about right now, but I'm using you as an example to try and show what I'm talking about for the people that only watch Kevin Samuels. For the people that only have heard about Kevin Samuels, for people who have never heard about the manosphere. This is their first time watching my video, but they've heard Kevin Samuels' name on Google, or they logged on their internet to see this black guy named Kevin Samuels who had 1 million followers, and they're Googling trying to figure all this out right now. And some of them are in the chat, right? And they've emailed me saying, hey, this is a fascinating story. I'm a white person who's living in Kansas, but I just wanted to thank you for making these videos. So I get those emails, and I haven't gotten any of those emails with the Kevin Samuels situation, to be honest with you, but I've gotten those emails before on my videos. So I just wanted to say that I understand that in the manosphere, Robert, that there probably are content creators that do talk about financial growth and things of that nature, but those are the minority. The majority have figured out that if you just end up, and I'll prove it to you right here, let's just go ahead and type in manosphere on YouTube, all right, manosphere. Granted, I'm sure I probably have somewhat of a loaded search result. We just type in manosphere. The first video is Amber Heard's bias psychology, FBI most wanted, the manosphere is a strange place, why I'm leaving. It's kind of all over the place. Anyways, I'll let you finish up, Robert, with your statement. Then we'll go to our next panel member, whoever just unmuted themselves, or whoever just unmuted yourself, just speak freely. I don't know who it was. Well, go ahead, Robert. I'll give you your final words, man. I don't know if you already left.
All right, okay. So, okay, I would say this. Like, I'm a bad example because remember, I'm married. Yeah. But you're gonna have a lot of guys who is already in their 30s, probably still living with their parents, And
well, let me ask you a question, bro. You're married?
but I'm married. Yes, I'm married for
but-
like more than 10 years.
Bro, so why are you watching this guy talking about like how bad single women are and stuff?
Because I'm gonna start my YouTube channel pretty soon, and I really want to step up, talking about the man, and
Right.
and I want to be honest. I want to be like self-awareness, not about just men, I mean also about women, because they don't have a lot of channels helping women. And I guess that Kevin Samuels is pretty old school. He tells it how it is, and I feel like right now that we live in an era and in generations that you can't be that blunt. And the stuff that I talked to my wife, she was telling me, "Who hurt you?" I'm like, "What do you mean who hurt me? You sound misogynist." I was like, "Well, that's," and so we have a talk about, okay, I have to come with a different approach.
Yeah. You definitely, especially now,
Because
man.
well, okay, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What would you give a woman advice who is maybe in her 30s too, expecting for a guy who have 2 kids for 2 different baby daddies, and she's still waiting for that magical guy? What kind of advice would you give her?
What kind of advice would I give her? And we're gonna move on to our next guest, iPhone, in 1 second. iPhone, I see you're unmuted. What kind of advice would I give a woman who is waiting for the perfect guy and she has 2 baby daddies already?
Yeah, and
I would ask her what is her version of a perfect guy. So for the sake of argument, we'll just say that he's 6-figure, right? 6'6",
Right.
6-figure,
Right.
and everything. That I would tell her that it's I would tell her that statistically, there's like less than 2% of people who are above this height, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to find a guy like that. But here's what I'm going to do to help you. I'll tell you what I think as a guy would be, something desirable. And past that, I'd let her know that if anything worth having in life is worth working hard for, and for you to find a good companion and a soulmate and things of that nature is already going to be difficult. You do have things that are going to make things a little bit more challenging, and that's the reality of it. But the thing about it is that women already know that, to be honest with you, bro. I don't have to tell a woman that because she has 2 kids by 2 different baby daddies that it's going to be harder for her to date. She does know that. Now, whether or not she chooses to acknowledge that in that particular moment in time, or up until age whatever the wall, until she decides to run into the wall or go face first into the wall, as some people say in the manosphere, right? That's her choice, right? Now, she knows what's going on, bro, okay? She knows what the deal is. She understands that it's going to be more difficult. She's the one raising her children. You understand what I mean? I don't need to tell her that it's going to be harder for her because she has kids. She has the kids with her. Life is already harder for her, right? So I think that what a lot of guys are trying to mask as this accountability type of thing has been lost. And in this case, you're trying to shame, or you're trying to you want somebody to live the life that you know that they should be living. And it's like, listen, man, whether or not I know what's going to happen is irrelevant, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the person's going to do what they'd like to do. Now, if they legitimately want my help and advice, I'm not going to shit on them. That's not what I'm going to do. Shitting on them is not going to do anything. So let's find some tangible advice now. Sweetheart, this is going to be difficult. Outside of your circumstances, this is why. Outside of the life that you're living right now, this is why. But because of this is why as well. Hey, I have good news for you. This is what they taught us to do when I was a salesman. I'm not that good of a salesman, but this is what you do in sales. You convey an emotion, you sell an emotion, it's an emotional exchange. But hey, I have good news. You just presented the problem, and this is the perfect time to present the solution. Now more than ever. You don't want them to walk away without buying your product, though. But you have to remember, black women weren't the ones that were buying Kevin Samuels' products, okay? They weren't the ones donating. So, having said that, what's the solution? Okay, this is what we can do. Number 1, your physical appearance matters a lot. It's going to matter a lot more now. So definitely, we're going to need to hit the gyms. But aside from hitting the gym, we're going to want to take care of a nutritionist, a diet plan. So, hey, find a nutritionist in your area. If I was Kevin Samuels, I would build a website with nutritionists, with physical trainers to do things virtually. If I had the money he had, I would be a quadzillionaire. But I don't have those resources. I would have had things where I'm making commissions and I'm doing everything because I'm presenting actual viable solutions, not just trying to shit on women online. So guess what? You get to make money after you end up selling them the solution while guys are donating to you for selling them the solution. That's how you crank the full thing out, man. That's what I would have done. But what do I know? iPhone, I appreciate you, Robert. for being on here, man. You can stick
Yeah, no
around.
problem.
You can stick around. We'll come back after we speak to iPhone and I'm Not For Everyone, and good stuff, man. iPhone, good to see you on the panel. You can turn your camera on if you want, man. You don't have to. It don't matter. I know that. Listen, people on the internet dox you, man. People on the internet dox people. So if you don't want people to know who you are, then don't turn your camera on for sure.
You say dox people? What does that mean? Dox people? What is that?
Dox people. So they put out your personal information if they don't like you enough. So if you get on here and say something crazy, if you get online on the internet and say something crazy, if you piss the wrong YouTuber off, there is a group of private detectives online who are not hired by any type of governmental authority who will find your information, find your picture, find your family's information, and then proceed to release it and tell the world everything about you. So it's up to you. I appreciate the camera, though, but it's up to you, though. I will give you a warning. So having said that, do you choose to sign your rights away, your Miranda rights away?
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's okay.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. iPhone, what do you think about Kevin, the entire thing going on? Were you a supporter, a believer? What's going on, man?
Supporter. I don't know if I can go as far as say I was a supporter, but I did like some of the information that he was putting out there. I kind of came across it in my own dating experience. So he did give me some insight on kind of some things I didn't understand about the mindset of some of the women I was dating. I guess he calls them modern women. And of course, I don't think he was talking about every single woman. Of course, that goes without saying. But yeah, I think a lot of people are discounting the fact that a lot of people did tune into him for a reason. He had some content that was helping someone. So I think if you mess with him or if you didn't mess with him, I think you can't discount the fact that he was helping some people, even if it's your personal opinion. If you didn't like his delivery, his format, I think it was definitely something that was helping people. So
okay,
yeah.
fair enough. And I think that is the argument that a lot of guys. Now it sounds like you're a well-spoken, well-rounded human being as well, man. From everything that we can see online on the outside, and so that's good. So I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
Outside of Kevin, do you watch anybody else in particular in the sphere?
I've not that. No one, I guess, that is like current. I guess they call it red pill.
Right.
Right. Conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much. I've listened to people that critique Kevin Samuels' videos, some of their opinions, just critiquing some of his interviews. There is a woman who I listened to who put out a book back in the 90s. Her name is Shahrazad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a lot of her kind of views that Kevin kind of was referring to in some of his interviews. Mm-hmm. But she also got a whole lot of, black from I guess particularly black women, because she wrote the book, I think, The Black Man's Guide to the Black Woman, and that was her focus as well. Basically, okay, we know that men aren't perfect, but we've been hearing how perfect they're not. But let's talk about, it takes two to tango. Let's talk about what black women are doing. So let's hold them accountable and see what we can do as black women, because she's a black woman.
Now let me ask you though, was Shahrazad was talking to the women or about
Mm-hmm.
women, I don't know if she was, I know she was using some strong language and stuff like that, but she wasn't as disrespectful necessarily. It seemed like, I know she pissed a lot of people off, but I do, and I can see where Shahrazad might have been more of an argument in your stance of what you're saying, as far as like actually saying things that need to be said, that the tough truths that a lot of women need to hear. Maybe Shahrazad, I feel like, could have, has done that a bit better than Kevin has, but I don't want to take that away, because I know your experience is your experience, and the big thing that people like to do online is take away somebody's personal experience and say that's not true or that didn't happen, right? And so I know that if you say that Kevin helped you and he made you a better man, then that's your experience and that's your experience. I think the problem is that, once again, we see that that being the better man can mean a lot of different things, right? So in your case, has it helped you with your dating, or has it helped you at all? Or do you see a change in the women around you per se, or have you put women around you on Kevin Samuels and they were able to see it and be like, oh, this is better?
Well, like I've talked to people just in random conversations, not necessarily women I'm dating, but people, just colleagues, just to get an opinion, especially when he passed, people just kind of talking about, their opinions on him or whatnot. And I've come across women, some single moms have said, like, wow, he really kind of, changed my life, put my life in a different direction. And
So
I've come across.
you know a mom that said that.
Yes.
Okay. So did you introduce her to Kevin?
I actually was surprised too, but I'm like, okay. And my brother said he has some friends, some married friends that he's around. They said that they rock with him consistently. Like he really helps them with their marriage.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, if he's out here helping, so you put it on the Bible. That's the truth. The God's honest truth. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take your word for it then. Listen, we have Chaotic Truth Live on the building. We'll come back to you, iPhone. Chaotic Truth Live is on the building, and I'm getting the hang of this Zoom thing. iPhone said that Kevin helped him. Who am I to say that he didn't? Who am I? Chaotic Truth, it's good to see you in the building. Looking sharp, man. The setup is ridiculous. I see the AKG. I got some work to do. But I'm getting ready to catch up to you, though. I'm catching up to you, Chaotic. Looking fresh.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining, man.
Thank you. I just got done doing a live stream on my own channel, and
Nice.
I just saw your live stream about Kevin Samuels, and I actually briefly just left a panel. I was only over there for like 5 minutes because they had just ended, but they were also talking about Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, it's hot right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this, and I just like I said on the other panel.
Yeah.
In modern history, we've had prophets. We've had Marcus Garvey. We've had the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We've had Malcolm X. We've had Farrakhan. Even in Africa, you've had Jerry Rawlings of Ghana. You have had Patrice Lumumba of Congo. And you've had Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso. But in America, recently, we haven't had too many prophets. But Kevin Samuels was that prophet. Kevin Samuels was an individual that, despite the current culture that we're living in, you have a culture of 40, 50-year-old men dressing like they're 12 years old. Here goes a man who said, dress or act as if you're the CEO of a company. Act as if your associates are the CEOs or C-suite executives of companies. Present yourself in a business format wherever you go. Now, just like I said on the last panel, I'm going to say it on this panel. Suits, they may seem antiquated to some people, but suits have a history. And the history goes back to ancient England, where the royalty wore suits. The royal classes wore suits, not modern suits like this, but this is a variant of a variant of a variant. Okay. And with that, you act a little bit different when you have a suit on. You act more poised and more polished. And typically, what I believe is that you turn off that switch of whatever culture you're in, and you look at it for what it is. The suit is the most superior form of clothing in Western culture. It is. It's the attire of business. And I didn't listen to Kevin Samuels religiously, but I understand where he's coming from. I wasn't done.
No, go ahead, bro. I was going to ask you about the suits, but go ahead. You're good.
Okay. And then his talking points about women were absolutely prophetic.
Okay.
You're average at best. That is the equivalent of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream speech.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off there.
Okay, well, I wasn't done, but you gotta let me
say. No, stop. Are you being chaotic? Are you being serious right now?
Sir, if you come to my channel, you would know I'm being 100% serious. I absolutely believe that. I believe that there is power in that you are average at best. He noticed a problem in our current culture. A woman, like that woman, had the nerve to say that she deserved a high-value man, a man making millions of dollars or something like that. He had to put her in her place. Like, lady, if you truly want to get married,
right?
If you truly want to be in the sexual market, you're going to have to come to the realization that listen, there are hierarchies in life, and unfortunately, a man with that type of money, he is not really going to pursue you.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with the firefighter. There's nothing wrong with the police officer, the school teacher, the mid-level manager. Back in the day, this woman would have been
okay. So I appreciate it. Okay, so let's go ahead and take things. So he's a prophet. Kevin definitely was prophetic in his teachings. He let women know that essentially they need to get it together, because if they don't, they're going to run out of time to get it together. They're going for way too much right now. And it was his prophetic meaning and destiny and time to be exactly in the moment in time and space of where he was wished. Now, I want to ask you a few things, and then we're going to go to Lin, because I know Lin has a few questions, and she wants to say a few things on the panel as well, because I saw her unmute herself. But I want to say a few things. I know that you're taking it. I know that you're serious. So forgive me. I'm not trying to insult you, but I do sense the satiricalness. But I know that you're serious as well. But I do want to mention in all seriousness that guys do see Kevin Samuels, as a prophet and things of that nature. And once again, I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but we have to be completely understanding and acknowledging of the traumatic abuse that was kind of seen, the things that were said. Not all the things that were said by him were very good.
You can turn your camera on.
One second, iPhone.
It don't matter. I know.
1 second, iPhone. My bad. And so some of the things he said were pretty problematic, man, especially the clips of him talking about domestic discipline. I don't know if you saw that clip of him talking about domestic discipline, where he, referenced Sean Connery speaking to Barbara Walters in an interview, of which Sean Connery said, Barbara, sometimes women just need to be slapped, right? And Kevin Samuels referenced that and said sometimes, kind of what you're saying now, that sometimes women just need to be told or have a verbal slap. Actually, we have the sound effect, right, that Kevin used to do, the whoosh sound, right? And so I think that there are problematic things of what he said, and the domestic discipline was one of those things where he alluded to needing to smack a woman's bum or whatever it might be. It can be interpreted a million different ways. It didn't sound that good, though. And so prophetic or not prophetic, going against the grain, getting along to go along, whatever it might be, it's controversial, and some of the things he said just are wrong, man. I'll be quite honest with you. Now, having said that, do I think that, once again, there are good things? Is a broken clock? I'm not saying he's a broken clock. Is the devil right sometimes about Jesus? The devil believes in God. I'm not saying Kevin Samuels is any of that, but understand going forward that just because somebody says one right thing or one wrong thing doesn't mean one thing or the other. But what is their consistent character and morality, or what is their life shown us? What is the results of their actions? What is the person that they are now reflective of the actions of the words that they're saying? How do those measure against each other? That's the big problem I think I'm having with a lot of people. Now, Kevin, I know that he got, started later in life and things of that nature. He became rich, so he became the high value person he's talking about, and this and that, but I didn't hear the majority of his messages weren't about becoming a better person or this and that. You've acknowledged that he's a prophet and he spoke to women, so I want guys to drop that message that Kevin is helping guys out. That's not what Kevin spoke to most of the time. He was a speaker to women, and for a lot of guys, the speaking message was that of accountability, quote unquote. I'll let you stay. Just give me 1 second, Chaotic. I know you're a major. I want to let Lin say something because I'm sure you'll have something to say to it. Lin, I know you heard Chaotic just now. What did you think about that? What do you think about the conversation? Oh, I think Lin just dropped off. Oh, no, she's still here. Never mind. Go ahead, Lin. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Trip. Nice to speak with you tonight. I just have, I do hear the term high value, and we know it's like a popular term nowadays, but, you mentioned you put high value and Mr. Kelsey Samuels in the same sentence, and I really don't think those two terms belong in the same sentence, because he definitely was not a man of high value. High value to me speaks to character more so than the money in your bank account, and how you treat women. And there's a reason why women like Cassie, for instance, will leave Diddy, a so-called quote unquote high value man, for her trainer. Okay. In comparison. So it's not all about the money, contrary to popular belief. But I'm just going to repeat the question in my super chat because you didn't get to it yet. But
shoot, my bad.
No, it's okay. I'm because we have some men on the panel, and I would really like to know from them too, since they are supposedly Kevin Samuels supporters. Why is it that men are okay ignoring the harm that Kevin Samuels was bringing to women so long as they were getting what they needed? Because it's this selfish mentality is why many women are actually upset and why they don't mourn for him. Because for 2 years, he was bringing harm to women. And there were many women that were speaking out. So while you were getting your little financial advice or whatever you thought you were getting from that channel, on the flip side, which actually is the part that a lot of people are ignoring in all of this, because it's very convenient to ignore the things that he was saying to women that were harmful, the way that he was treating them. You would visibly see them shut down. You would visibly see them hurting. He would cut them off. He would curse them out. He would do so and so, talk to them harshly. But then we wonder why, Black women are not, quote unquote, feminine when you speak to them a certain way. But, I don't want to because when you start going too far, a lot of times people tend to start talking in circles and don't get to the point, and we get off track. So I just want to stay completely on track. Why is it that many men who support Kevin Samuels were willing to simultaneously ignore the harm that he was doing to the woman, so long as they were getting what they needed? Why is there that selfishness?
All right. I think that's a very good question, Lynn. And let me say, before we get to the explanation or going on to get some answers from that question, I want to say my apologies if you've donated on Super Chat. Donate your Super Chat to my email or email me your Super Chat, okay? If you donated on Super Chat, email me. I'll put it in the chat right now. Just copy and paste my email. I'm typing it right now. The honest truth. Oh, my R key, Jesus Christ. YT@gmail.com. I'm buying a keyboard, bro. The honest truth YT. If you super chatted me and I didn't read it, email me your super chat and I'm going to read it on the live. Okay. So forgive me, y'all. I didn't check that. Chaotic Live, do you want to go ahead and answer that question that Lin had?
I do.
Sure.
And please tell me if I'm being long-winded.
No, you're fine.
Kevin Samuels preached about being a great businessman.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of women, Kevin Samuels preached about being conservative. The problem with the women calling into the show a lot of the times is that they were not conservative. A lot of these women were in fact Jezebels. A lot of these women, as younger people might say, were for the streets. A woman who's raised in a nuclear family, who's raised with a strong father, would have never called into Kevin Samuels. A lot of these women that called in were fighting their true nature, which is being domestic. I'm a little bit older than you, I think, Lynn, from the sounds of it. But there was a time when women prided, even in the 90s when I was a kid, there was a time when women prided themselves on being domestic, cooking, cleaning, being quiet around men, allowing a man to have his peace. There was nothing wrong with that. Even women in the 90s. My mother is a woman of a certain age now. My mother had a very professional job. But even still, my mother took care of her family first, cooking, cleaning, making sure that we did our homework, making sure we had tutors growing up, not going out with her girlfriends, drinking every weekend like a lot of modern women do now. The things that Kevin Samuels brought into fruition were in fact shaming tactics, which worked, obviously. Women should be generally shamed for a Jezebel-ish behavior or Jezebel-like behavior. A lot of modern women today are not married, 30 plus years old, still kicking it like they're in their late teens, early 20s, like it's college. A lot of women today, they're combative.
Chaotic. I want to say a lot of women don't want to get married, man, to be honest with you. And
That's
B,
true.
I don't think marriage just isn't what it is. I mean, people don't take marriages seriously anymore, bro. But for the people who do take marriage seriously, that's a serious thing. So.
Yeah, but and I agree with you, sir. But if you just look at statistics, a nuclear family is the best way to raise children.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of the matter is that I was a teacher before, and I also was a probation officer. So I worked in the courts, and I also was a teacher. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, the dysfunction in the Black community, especially, is not. In mind you, it's not just the Black community now. It's all over. But the dysfunctioning behaviors come from the very types of women that called into Kevin Samuels and question him on things that he said about women. Now I'm about to be done here because I feel like iPhone wants to say something.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Jay Truth, for and thank you, Jay Truth, for letting me talk.
Yeah, no problem.
But Black women have been listening to vulgar rap songs for 30 years, reciting some of the most vicious lyrics.
Who created them? Who created those songs?
Jay Truth, I did not speak when Lin spoke. May I just finish, sir? Is that all right with if I finish Lin?
Well, yes, but let's not gaslight Lin. It's just a question.
Yeah.
Just answer her question.
Oh, I wasn't directly talking to Lin.
Well, I tell you what, the Zoom meeting has 6 minutes, so
okay.
I have to buy Zoom, so we'll have to wrap this all up in 6 minutes anyway.
So all I'm saying is that Black women listen to vulgar rap. They listen to Cardi B. They listen to Meg Thee Stallion. They don't listen to Anita Baker or Sade anymore.
Anita Baker. Do you listen to Anita Baker? Do you listen?
Do you want me to sing an Anita Baker song for you, sir, right now?
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
We're getting off track because he's not answering who actually is creating that music.
There you go, Lin. Let's ask Lin's question. We only have a few minutes on Zoom. So
tear down the George Floyd statues and put up Kevin Samuels statues.
You didn't answer who created the rap music, sir. Who created it? Who created the genre?
Lin, it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Of course, it doesn't matter. Of course.
But okay. People are creating music that isn't very conducive to Black people's upbringing, but a lot of those kids are being raised by these women that are calling in to Kevin Samuels' platform, So at the end of the day, if the head of the family, the ones that are first ones that are nurturing and teaching the children is the mother. And I guess a lot of the men aren't in the household. So yeah, the men are creating these lyrics that the women are also.
Okay, so phone, let me ask you a question. I bet you better not have any kids that aren't in the house with you.
No, I'm actually 37 with no kids.
All right. You are the screamingly silent minority right there. Chaotic, same thing for you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we have no bullshitters on the panel.
Can I say something real quick?
We can. Well, let me let Lin go, and then I need I'm not for everyone to go because we're gonna have to wrap this up soon. So you may not have time today, but I'll tell you what, we'll be live very soon. So Lin, go ahead.
I'm just glad that we got some answers today. It seems like if women were getting hurt, then it's our fault. If the children aren't being raised right, it's also the woman's fault. I got it. So all of the problems in society stem completely from the woman, and men have zero space in this matter. They have zero place in this matter, and they're not to be held accountable for anything. Understood. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Understood. Thank you.
We got to clear it up for you, dear. We'll see you soon. All right, Lin.
Have a good night, everyone.
Lin's left the building. Thank you, Lin.
Good night, Lin.
Now, I think obviously she's saying a lot without saying a lot right there. And that's where I honestly do believe there's an issue. Now, we're not going to agree tonight on this live stream panel, but there needs to be discussions going forward about the reality of this situation. And while I can't be as real as I'd like to be, because I want to be respectful of everybody's feelings, opinions, and things of that nature, there's a lot more that we need to say about this, because once again, if I'm being honest, the message that most of you guys have for Kevin, and the support that y'all have, Janelle Rock for $5 said this. Before I say that, the support that y'all have for Kevin, it's not warranted for the things that you're saying, because that's not what Kevin did on his live stream. Kevin was not a builder of people. Kevin was not a builder of emotions. I'm not for everyone. Did you want to say something, dear, before we close off the Zoom meeting?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I've got like 3 minutes. I'll go ahead and make it quick. It's just interesting to me when Kevin Samuels in his video, he said guys don't want to hear it.
Kevin said it himself, right? But the thing that I hear most of the guys saying is that they love what the hard words that Kevin said a lot of guys don't want to hear. It's disingenuous, to be honest with you, because that's not what Kevin's popular for. Everybody knows that's not what Kevin's popular for.
It's a blatant lie, and we just got a few examples on the panel right now. They still wouldn't do it.
Now, the thing is, the guys on the panel, and shout out to the guys on the panel, because the guys on the panel are good dudes, right? But the problem is that when we do get some dudes that are good dudes who kind of mix and conflate the message, it's like, nah, bro, y'all are, come on, don't die on the hill with them, because them niggas are kind of off, for real. But and another problem, a lot of guys don't know about the history of the manosphere. A lot of people heard about Kevin, and they know maybe one or two other people, and that's it. But this is deep. It's not necessarily an organization. The feds aren't investigating them for no reason. I'll say that, right? some of those guys are a little off, man. Janelle Rock for $5 says, average at best never said she was a millionaire. She said she wanted a man who made as much as her and who didn't want to take over her business. She made a lot of money, so of course you get the wrong guy in a relationship. We know somebody like that in real life. We know somebody who's an anesthesiologist who just had a pretty big severe issue with losing a lot of money because she married a guy, and she makes a lot of money. She makes a lot of money. Shout out to you, Doc, if you're watching. She's definitely not. She's definitely at the hospital right now. Nia X with the $5 super chat says, ladies, a man over 30 without kids or a wife is defective. Mark my words. Do not be impressed with the. Well, let's be respectful here. Well, I told you you're gonna get flamed. I said you'd get doxxed. You'd get doxxed, brother, but you're getting flamed right now. I appreciate your good support, though, gentlemen. I know it's tough. Listen, the Zoom meeting is getting ready to time out. I didn't purchase Zoom, and I didn't know until somebody told me. So, Chaotic, you have literally 1 minute and 8 seconds. So you have 30 of those seconds. iPhone, you have 30 of those seconds. But iPhone, we're saying that. I mean, do you feel like you're approaching the wall? Think about that in your answer. You have 30 seconds. Go, Chaotic Live.
Yeah, I think, we're not saying that it's all 100% women. You know what I'm saying? I love black people. I love black women. My mom, my family, all of them. But I'm just not negating the fact that we have had some things that happen in our history that we need to address. And it's not just black men. And I think in the past, it has been the focus on us. And I think Kevin Samuels was bringing a little bit of balance, whether you like them or not.
iPhone, that is it. I appreciate you being here, man. Real talk, iPhone. Have a good night, bro. Stay up. Chaotic, you have no...
Tear down the...
Chaotic, you're going to need to speed up, man.
Tear down the George Floyd statues and put up statues of Kevin Samuels and make schools out of that man.
All right. You want those to be your final words?
I'm out. Thank you.
Right. Chaotic with the...
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
All right, Chaotic. You're very welcome. Chaotic there. If you want to check out Chaotic's channel, I'm sure it'll be entertainment just to kind of hear based off of what we heard for a few seconds there. That's his advice, and those are the words that he wants to end it on right there. Is the wall for men existent? We need to talk about the wall for men now. And listen, guys. I've made videos about the delusion of women. I know delusion of women. I'm dealing with women. We're dealing as a community with some very delusional content creating women right now. Trust me. Okay? Some very dangerous women. But in the same breath, all right, there's a manner of which to handle those types of dangerous people. And you have to do it very tactfully, very graciously, very judiciously. And you have to do some things with fire and brimstone, but a lot of it you can't. This is chess, not checkers. And you can't brute your way through everything, guys. All right? So you can't be Kevin Samuels and telling women in a brutish way to do this and do that. It doesn't work for you the same way, okay? It barely worked for Kevin. And obviously we're seeing in the responses that he's getting online, whether you see it as support or a non-support, the hate or the truth, there's a lot of people that felt a lot of different ways about his version of the truth. The truth also comes through with the $10 super chat. The truth comes through on the honest truth with the $10 super chat. Says, why do panelists keep saying black women are looking down on average men when most marry average men and out-educate and out-earn their men? It doesn't make sense. This is an excuse. Well, once again, the truth, that's the truth. And we're seeing the conflation of truth between offline and online, real life, and the digital world, where we see Kevin Samuels say, I know if I do this in the digital world, offline, it'll cause digital currency to become physical currency, right? And so if I talk about this in the digital world, in my real world, my situation changes. That's what we're dealing with now, and that's the power of the media, and that's why the government's getting ready to go after the media. Janelle Rock says, I'm from a nuclear family with the $5 super chat. Parents married 40-plus years, and I would never call Kevin Samuels because he's abusive. He is an abusive grooming clown who died alone. $5 super chat from Janelle Rock as she gives her opinion. Her final opinion, it looks like, of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of you for watching tonight. I appreciate all of you for donating tonight, joining tonight. I hope that you got something out of this. I appreciate all the likes. I forgot to monetize the stream coming into this, so F me. I just definitely lost a decent amount of money. But these tend to get demonetized as far as the stream goes anyway, so I'm not going to think about that. In the meantime, if you're a woman, if you're a person staying in a suburban area, even if you're a guy, if you're just a smaller guy, you're not good with your hands, you know what? If you're just a human being without a felony conviction or a misdemeanor as far as domestic violence, think about your Second Amendment rights. Think about purchasing a firearm, because we've seen in this situation, life can be over just like that, y'all. It can be done just like that. Make sure you're living the life right now today, that if it was to be gone tomorrow, you'd have no regrets as you pass through the next dimension of whatever it is, right? Because none of us really know what it is. We have faith, some of us believe in science, some of us have already seen the other side, a few of us. One guy I met in jail said he died from an overdose, and he said he didn't see anything. So whether he's lying or not, I don't know. And I've talked to 2 other people, but I can tell you this much: I don't want to find out anytime soon what's in that next stage of my life. And so I mentally prepare, and I walk, and I never leave the street without this thing right beside me in my holster, my Uncle Mike's holster. And I suggest that you do the same, because there are people out there in this world that are actively making sure that they try and end yours. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jonathan. Email me for business opportunities, promotions, things of that nature. thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. That's how you can reach me. We'll be back live tomorrow with another topic. Make sure you turn your notification bell on and set it to all. If you set it to personalize, or you don't turn your notifications on, you're not going to see this live stream tomorrow. And you're going to be upset watching it on the replay a little bit, because you'll feel like you missed out on a momentous life event. And you did. You missed out on the THT Truth Seekers live stream. But you don't have to. And women, you don't have to either. Guys, you don't have to either. You don't have to do anything. You can do what you'd like to, but I advise you to listen. Listen while you can. I'll see you all in the very near future, ladies and gentlemen. I love you. Good night.